Welcome back, peeps. Thank you for tuning in the Banner Bros channel, where we're always taking a look at the newest tips and tricks in Modern Warfare and Warzone mode. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the Battle of the Lasers. What is the best laser for you to use in Modern Warfare Warzone mode? We're going to be taking a look at just explaining the general idea of both of them, going to look over the stats, hipfire recoil test, ADS recoil test, and the testing the laser visibility as well. All that in today's video. And if you do enjoy this kind of content, please remember to like and to subscribe. I deeply appreciate it, because if you guys didn't know, 91% of you guys who watch my videos are not subscribed yet. So if you do, it would help me out a lot. And with that being said, let's jump right into this video. So first off, let's go into the explaining of what each one of these ones do. All right. I will only be doing the 5 milliwatt laser and the Tac Laser, because the 1 milliwatt laser just doesn't really offer you that many advantages in terms of hip fire area, sprint to fire time, and all that kind of stuff. So we're just going to be taking a look at the 5 milliwatt and the Tac Laser. So as far as the game tells us, the 5 milliwatt laser greatly improves the hip fire accuracy, and it speeds up the target acquisition after sprinting. What does this mean? That your weapon is going to be ready to fire a lot faster after sprinting and after tac sprinting. Obviously, one of the downsides of the 5 milliwatt laser is that it is always active. It doesn't matter if you're not aiming, everybody can see your laser. And again, stay tuned to the end of the video, because we're going to be taking a look at how much you can actually see an enemy player laser. So as it says right here, this is only for the aggressive. Now let's go into the Tac Laser. This one is more for players that are aiming down sights or that aren't really pushing that much, right? As you guys can see, it's going to increase the aim down sight speed, aiming stability, and aim walking steadiness. Again, this is all things for when you are aiming down sights. Just do be aware, this doesn't actually help you get your weapon ready up faster. So the speed up for the weapon and all that is not going to be faster. Aim down sight speed only comes when you are standing still and you aim down sights. All right, that is the only time. It doesn't come in after you're running or anything like that. So you have to be completely still and then aim down sights. That is when that speed is going to come into play. And now let's take a look at the stats. All right, I'll show them right here on the screen for you guys. I'll show all three of them just first, and then I'll go into how it actually compares up. So the Tac Laser, as we can see, the ADS, the only thing it helps is it is 25 milliseconds faster. And if we go to the 1 milliwatt laser, as you guys can see, it's 36% better in the hip fire area, which is a lot. But once we take a look at the 5 milliwatt laser, the sprint to fire speed is 9 milliseconds faster. It's going to be this tactical sprint to fire speed insanely faster at 29 milliseconds. And look at that hip fire area, 56% better. Now, we're going to go into where stats get a little bit more interesting. If we actually compare it, the MP5 on the left-hand side is going to be with the ADS. All right, so the MP5 is going to be with the Tac Laser, and the MP5, the number 2 on the right-hand side, is going to be with the 5 milliwatt laser. And this is where things get a little bit interesting. As you guys can see, the ADS definitely a little bit faster with the Tac Laser than compared to the MP5. But now the sprint to fire speed time is going to be definitely quite a bit faster for the one with the 5 milliwatt laser, and the tactical sprint to fire time, look at that, even much faster with the 5 milliwatt laser. And now with the movement speed, you both are going to move exactly the same. The ADS movement speed, so while you're aiming downside, you're still going to move exactly the same. All right, so while you aim downside, you're going to move exactly as fast. It says there's no vertical recoil or horizontal bounce different. It says it's all the same. Hip fire area, this is really, really big, especially when you're running MP5 loadouts, MP7 loadouts, something that you use hipfire a lot. With the Tac Laser, look at that, 7.5 pixel density with your hipfire, that's the spread, and compared to 3.3, that's less than half. I mean, as you guys saw, it's a 56% difference. So that is a huge difference when you're using that 5 milliwatt laser. And we're going to go into testing and take a look at how these numbers actually translate into the game. And the reload time and the mag size is going to be exactly the same. Now let's jump into the fun parts of this video. So now we're going to be going into the hipfire recoil test. All right, to see if that 56% in number actually translates to that into real life. All right, so we're going to do a couple of testing. So we're going to do the testing here against this one. And as you guys can see, I'm going to show you the loadouts that I have. So for both of them, I have the monolithic integral suppressor, which is what a lot of people use. I've got the Merc foregrip. I put this because this was one of the best foregrips for the MP5. If you guys haven't checked out my foregrip video, the Merc is the best one for vertical recoil, and I'll put that link in the video right now where I compare all the recoils. Go ahead and check it out. I put a 45 round mag and I put the recoil control. So this is more like a recoiled control MP5, right? And I did the same for this other one right here. It's exactly the same. So the only thing that changes between them is the Tac Laser, but all the other attachments are the same. So we're going to start always with the Tac Laser, and we're going to go ahead and do the hip fire test. We're going to do one about this close. I guess this is a pretty significant distance to hip fire somebody. If you want to go against the bus, hello, just so we can measure the distance. So go ahead, go to this bus right here. Yeah, just so we can measure the distance. And there we go. So it's about 8.2 meters. I guess this is a pretty significant difference. Now we're going to go ahead and test the hip fire. I'm going to unload all 45 mags into it. So 3, and I'm not going to try to control the recoil or anything like that. We're going to do 2 different ones. So this one's without trying to control the recoil. There we go. Look at that. Bullets go all over the place. I mean, when you don't have the Tac Laser, you can definitely get your shots, a couple of shots on that enemy, but it's definitely going to be a little bit harder. Now let's go into the right-hand side and let's take a look again to this one right here without trying to control the recoil. You can just see the size of the hip fire. Look at the crosshair, definitely a lot smaller. And look at that. I mean, that is a huge difference with the 5 milliwatt laser. The weapon still does go up a little bit. It still has the same vertical recoil, but as you guys can see, the shots are definitely a lot more compact. And now let's take a look. If we try to control the recoil, this probably we're going to notice a bigger difference. So this is me trying to control the recoil. As you guys can see, the bullets it's not going that vertically, but you know, we did manage to land a little bit closer shots, kind of like this one. Now let's go with the 5 milliwatt laser trying to control the recoil. And there we go. As you guys can see, definitely a really significant difference. Again, remember, this is not for recoil. That's why the recoil pattern is pretty significant, but it's going to allow your shots to definitely be a lot more compact. This shots and this shot, definitely a lot more compact. So as far as we can see, the numbers are true for the hip fire testing. Now let's go ahead and test the aiming down sight speed, the aiming down sight recoil test, because this is where the Tac Laser should shine. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. So we're gonna go ahead and test it out right here. Again, we're gonna do one without trying to control the recoil. This is with the Tac Laser on. Testing in 3, 2, 1. There we go. Now we're gonna go ahead and move a little bit to the side and do the same exact test again without trying to control the recoil. As you guys can see, my aim definitely does move a little bit more because it doesn't have that steadiness. If we compare both of these, definitely the one without, it definitely, my iron sights moves a lot more. All right. And that was me actually not trying to control the recoil. So definitely, damn. I mean, so as far as this goes, the 5 milliwatt laser definitely helped it out a lot more. I'm gonna do that test one more time because that shouldn't happen. I mean, the Tac Laser should be better. Let's go ahead and test it out. All right, I'm gonna test it out again. This one right here. No, yeah, it might have been that recoil difference in that one, but yeah, I guess they're pretty much the same. As you guys can see, the recoil pattern, that one was definitely a little bit different. But yeah, once we tested it again, it does seem that both of them have the same exact when it comes to recoil. So the aim walking steadiness, which is your sight, it kind of helps maybe acquiring your target at the beginning, but in reality, as you guys saw, you know, me trying to, now we're going to do one, actually me trying to control the recoil to see maybe if there's a difference there. So first off, we're going to use again the Tac Laser. I'm going to shoot at this wall right here and me trying to control the recoil. All right, perfect. Now let's go to the one on the side. This is without 5 milliwatt laser. Definitely. I see what this means. I see what this means. So let's go ahead and test it out right here. Definitely with the Tac Laser, my bullets were a lot more compact. Even when I was using the gun, the aim walking steadiness, which is your iron sights kind of moving, it definitely does affect you after a while, especially when you're unloading 45 bullets into somebody. I don't know if you guys saw in the video, but if you guys could see, but it definitely affected me a little bit. So I definitely, aiming down sights was definitely a little bit easier with the Tac Laser. I wouldn't say significant, but it's still something that you notice. All right, now let's go into one of the more important ones, which is one of the cons of the 5 milliwatt laser, which seems to be a lot of a thicker laser, right? So we're gonna go into the testing the laser visibility. All right, and let's jump right into that. All right, so now we're going to be doing the testing of the laser visibility, which is something pretty important. So we're going to be going, this is inside a building, it's fairly lit, but it is also, I guess it's also fairly, it's kind of a decent area to test it out. We're going to be doing two testings, one's inside this building, and then the other one, he's going to aim outside, and I'm going to see if I can detect that laser from the inside to the outside, which is one of the most important things. So let's go ahead and test that Tac Laser out. So go ahead and aim it. This is again from the enemy's perspective. So let me take a look at it from the side. It's fairly noticeable. I guess you could probably see it. When you're in the game, you can definitely notice that. It's more when you're aiming against a wall, you can definitely see that laser pretty easily. But I mean, it's not that noticeable. Now let's go ahead and test the 5 milliwatt laser out and see how powerful that 5 milliwatt laser out is. Let's see, test attack. Keep using the Tac and then 5 milliwatt, and then keep changing it. Tac, and that's 5 milliwatt. I don't know. I think maybe the 5 milliwatt laser is definitely a little bit stronger, but I wouldn't really notice it that much. It seems like both of them are kind of exactly the same. I would say both of them are exactly the same. Now let's test it out outside. So he's going to be inside, kind of like if he was aiming outside, because usually this is how you can detect enemies. In the outside light, let's take a look. Yeah, you can kind of detect it, but not that much. If they do shine it in your face, as you guys can see, you do get that little bright thing right in your eyes. Now switch to the 5 milliwatt laser, and there we go. I think, let's see, switch, keep switching. Yeah, I think it shines the same in your face. I think they're both exactly the same. Now go inside of the building and aim outside to see how the difference is. Yeah, so first use the Tac Laser, remember? Yeah, so Tac Laser first. This one's the Tac Laser, and we can see it pretty clearly. I mean, if he was aiming from inside to outside, you can definitely see that. I mean, unless you're blind or something, but you can definitely see this pretty easy. Now let's take a look at the 5 milliwatt laser. And with the 5 milliwatt laser, again, yeah, you can definitely detect that. I mean, it can maybe go unnoticed. Most of the times, if the laser is hitting a wall, then it's definitely going to be a lot easier to detect. But if he's aiming outside, you can kind of see it. I mean, you can definitely see it. So this is when we go back into this thing. All right, we got all the testing done. Now, which one is the best laser for you? And I'm actually going to switch. I was actually the one that used Tac Laser in all of my guns. But as far as it goes, obviously the biggest difference is that the Tac Laser doesn't show when you're not aiming, and the 5 milliwatt laser just shows all the time, regardless, right? It's always going to be showing. But I mean, after we saw those testing, first of all, with the recoil testing, it's exactly the same. Maybe sometimes, while you're aiming, like I said, your aiming sway moves a little bit. So that's why maybe you might want the Tac Laser. So for example, if you got maybe like a VOK scope, or if you're running a sniper or something like that, then I guess sniper you can't put it on 5 milliwatt laser. But if you're running a gun where you've got like a VOK or a higher powered scope, then it probably would suggest that Tac Laser to keep your aim steady. And I mean, the thing is, it can go either way. If you get a high power scope, you can use Tac Laser to keep your aim steady, or you can add that 5 milliwatt laser in case somebody comes up jumping right in front of you and you don't have enough time to aim because you've got that high powered scope. And that, I mean, you saw that hip fire is powerful. When you put the 5 milliwatt laser in your gun, it is definitely going to improve it by a significant amount. I mean, it's a ridiculous amount. So as far as this goes, I think I'm going to have to start using the 5 milliwatt laser, in my opinion. Again, like I said, in my opinion, if you're going to be using a gun that is slow and you don't really mind, and you really, really hate the weapon moving a lot from side to side, then I'm going to go ahead and use the Tac Laser. But more so right now, my weapons are going to be a little bit more aggressive and all that. I think the 5 milliwatt laser is definitely going to be the best way to go. Most important thing again, remember, is that the 5 milliwatt laser gives you that speed after running with your class. So remember, you're going to be a lot faster getting your weapon ready up to shoot that enemy. But this is only my opinion. I showed you guys the stats. I showed you guys how everything works. Let me know down below in the comments which one is the best one for you. Are you guys going to change from the Tac Laser to the 5 milliwatt laser? Are you guys going to change from the 5 milliwatt to the Tac Laser, or are you going to remain exactly the same? Let me know down below in the comments what you guys think, and if you guys want me to explain anything else. Peace out, everybody. I appreciate y'all for tuning in, and as always, I'll see you all in the next one.